So this journey, this walk with God, this transformation that I'm making has not been one of the easiest things that I've done in my life. It has caused me to face myself, some things about myself that I denied, that I rejected, that I overlooked, that some things I just refused to admit to. But as I've learned in this walk, on this journey, that the truth sets us free, it has become a part of my mantra, basically, because it's the one thing that the Holy Spirit constantly reminds me of when I'm in a place where I'm fighting with the truth. I'm trying to reject it. I'm trying to refute it. The one thing that constantly is on replay is that the truth sets us free. It's not until we can accept the truth that it is what it is that we can be free, because once we accept it, the power that it had over us, that thing had over us, the bondage that we were in because of it, is no longer effective when we say, you know what, it is what it is. That is the truth. And you know what, God, what do I need to do? What is my part in this? What is it that I need to do to move forward and to step out of this and to change this situation? And when we ask those things and we ask God those things, change comes about. And when we're in a place where we're ready to accept accountability for some of the things that we see about ourselves, as well as others, it makes this journey easier, because when we reject it and refute it, we get stagnant. There's blocks and walls put up, and we sit there in those walls that we've built around ourselves because we rejected the truth and we won't let it in. And we sit there and we fester in it, and it causes friction, it causes confusion, it causes anger, it causes frustration, and it causes bitterness, because we are not healed, because we have not accepted the truth of that thing. And so I learned early on that from God, that God is a foundation God. And so just like with building a house, the first thing that you do, that you assess, is the foundation. You want to make sure that the land where you're building that house can sustain the house that you're placing up on it, that the house won't fall, that it won't cave in, because the land, the foundation up under it, is not equipped to hold it, to sustain it. And so that is one of the things that I learned early on from God, is that God is a foundational God. God focuses on the foundation, the thing that it is built on. And so if the foundation is not good and it's not sustainable and it's not healthy, then that wood is standing up on it already. God knocks it. It has to be, in some cases, depending on the structure when you go in of the foundation, if there's cracks in it, depending on how bad it's cracked and depending on how bad it is, the house that has been built on it may have to be bulldozed and knocked down, because you need to get to the foundation so that you can fix it and build it up. In some cases, our lives aren't that bad that God has to totally destroy what was built on it to fix the foundation. Sometimes you can go in and you can assess the damage, and there's just a few cracks, and that you can fill in those cracks to fix the foundation and level off the foundation. So you don't have to tear down everything that was built on it, because you just need to fix something small. Well, our lives are the same. Depending on the trauma, the past, and the things that we've gone through that have caused us to be the way that we are, if God sees that the foundation is completely faltering and that it's not going to hold us up, then God has to tear down everything that was built on that foundation in order to fix the foundation, to rebuild on it, so that once he builds on it, the foundation is sustainable to hold that which is on it. So when God comes into our lives and we hear him because he finally calls us and it's time, when we answer to that call, God begins to review and assess the damage, assess the foundation. And depending on how bad it is, he may have to he could just do renovations and fix what is messed up and not have to tear down everything. But in some cases, our lives are so messed up and the things that we've gone through is so traumatic, and that it has caused us to be bitter. It has caused us to walk around with unforgiveness in our heart. It has caused us to become angry. So out of that anger, we become vicious. We become vengeful, and we become spiteful. And we just walk around nasty and mean. We become jealous and we become envious of those around us that seem to be having a better life than us. All kinds of things come into play. And so when God assesses the damage, if it is truly a hot mess, then God has to tear down what was built on that foundation in order to fix the foundation. And when God begins to fix the foundation, God starts within us, because we are a representation, as the word says, of what we think, of what's in our heart. God says, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. So if we're bitter and we're mean and we're envious and we're a mean girl or a mean guy for that matter, guess what? That comes out of us because it's what's in us. And so our foundation, God works from the inside out. So God begins to fix what's on the inside of us first before it comes and appears on the outside. Because he's changing us, the foundation from the inside, it begins to reflect those changes on the outside. And so I learned early on that God works from the inside out. And that is because when I saw all the things that God wanted to do for me, I thought that I was about to get them immediately. And when I came to the realization really quick that it wasn't about to happen like that, I began to falter. I began to get upset. I began to get frustrated because I felt like I had been tricked. I felt like God had shown me all of this, and then all of a sudden, all hell broke loose in my life. I started to lose things that I was trying to hold on to, fighting for dear life to hold on to them. But for some reason, I couldn't figure out how to do so. Whereas before, I was able to keep things together and pretty much keep control of the things that were going on around me. But all of a sudden, the minute that I heard God's voice and the minute that I said yes, everything seemed to just slip away. And so early on, I learned, because of that, the tantrum and the frustration and the anger that I found myself in, talking to God about it. Actually, not even talking. I was going off. I was having a rant, a full-blown rant. I was in a full-blown tantrum like a kid about it because I felt I had been jilted. I felt I had been tricked. I felt like I had been bamboozled. And I remember God saying, Christina, that is the end result. And you're going to have those things. But I need to fix you first. Because if I gave you those things now, the weight of it, you wouldn't be able to hold. You would crack under pressure and you would blow it. Because your foundation is not equipped to hold the weight of what I'm trying to build on it. And so I learned that God works from the inside out. And so at that point, the true journey began because I truly understood that it was about to be a process. And God says that the fruits of his spirit are love, kindness, patience. Patience. I've learned that those fruits of his spirit, self-control, all those things that come about from His Spirit or things that we learn through testing. To learn patience, and that's one of the fruit of God's Spirit is patience.